Good morning. We're going to try that again. So here, Monday morning in the UK, I'm here to talk about menopause, perimenopause, and my training, Yoga for Menopause. Rachel Boon should be meeting me here shortly. Here we are. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
Yeah, okay. We just finished 6-day pregnancy online training. It's starting to get hot now, just on cue. So yes, we finished that last night. So I'm still a little lots of screen time. But yeah, it was great. It was an online one. Yeah, lovely group. Yeah, very nice. Yeah.
Oh,
How
we
you
always
doing?
get lovely groups, don't we?
Yeah, we do attract very, very cool groups, very knowledgeable, intelligent women who really want to learn. And what more could you ask for?
And do you know what? I also think that the groups we attract are very community-ish people, very happy to share their breadth of
Very
experience,
generous.
very generous of spirit, happy to lift other women up. And yeah, brilliant.
Yeah. No, it's super exciting. I always learn something from the group on every training.
Couldn't echo that more. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, obviously I'm leading the training, but I'm quite a lot of the time I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. Or wow, that's an interesting experience. I hadn't thought of it from that perspective. And as you know, we do encourage, like you do when you do your talk on the menopause yoga training, we do invite questioning and discussion, and that just enriches the whole thing, I think.
And experience sharing and everybody holding space for one another. I mean, obviously, we're the main holders of the space, but everybody else holds a safe space for one another. It is magic. It's hard to put into words.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm always still quite surprised how and super grateful how well that can still come across online, because I was dubious about the online trainings when we were forced into it in lockdown. But actually we still get a pretty good vibe on them, I think. And
Definitely,
and a good sense
for
of
sure.
community. I mean, we've got, I think it was March last year, a pregnancy yoga training. And there's the chat, I keep the WhatsApp groups open. I don't close them, so I've got like 1 million on my phone now. But people are still talking and helping one another and asking for advice. So it's definitely an ongoing experience, I think.
Absolutely. And I found like we had a menopause training that we did in Leeds. Hello, Leeds crew. But that menopause group is so active, and a lot of
Hilarious.
the yogis have gone to run their own after they've done the Menoyoga Teacher Training. They've gone on to run their own Menoyoga workshops, and they're getting feedback from the group about
Yeah.
the branding, the design, the offering, the feedback after the classes. The support does continue, which is, I think, adds a lot of value to the training.
Yeah. And they're sharing all sorts, aren't they? Even like pet updates and but it all adds in, even though it doesn't feel that relevant. It kind of is, because it's just what's going on that day, and just having that. Basically, I just think everyone is just chasing connection on some level, no matter what
Yeah.
life cycle you're in. That's what humans need, no matter what you tell yourself. I'm introvert, I don't like people. I have this dialogue
Yeah.
too. It's like, actually people do need connection. It affects the brain in such a positive way. There's no way out of it, really. It's what humans need. It's what mammals need, actually. It's what mammals need. I saw an amazing, this isn't, I don't know how LinkedIn this is, but it just popped in. I saw this amazing video of how these whales came together. There was no way out. They'd been stranded in shallow water, and the way they all came together, because they knew it was their last few moments. It was awful, but really poignant, and it just
Don't you
made me
set me off.
really think.
You set
I
me
know,
off,
yeah,
Sal.
I know, but it was just like, wow, yeah, that just that connection. It was like a real visual of the necessity of connection. Yeah.
Absolutely. And also recently I've been looking a lot into oxytocin, which is one of our like master hormones. It sort of regulates all our hormones from the top down, and how oxytocin is our nurture hormone as well as estrogen. But oxytocin is secreted in mammals when we have connection, when we're close to one another, when we hug, when we laugh, when we spend time in a group and we feel safe. So I sometimes think that's maybe one of the endocrine reasons we're drawn to being together as humans and also as women in a group, is because our body is seeking oxytocin.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I think that's why we do have some people on the train that are not necessarily looking to teach, but they just need that space for
Yeah.
2 days, you know, 2 solid days where they can express how they're, you know, what's going on for them, and just get some practical tips as well with regards to how to move well. So that comes from me, and then your section of the training where you're talking about, well, you mentioned what you're talking about, because I won't put it across very well. I'll
Oh, I'm
fumble
sure
my.
you will. So I mean, what I talk about in the course is I basically introduce you to your sex hormones, or your ovarian hormones, as we should be calling them. And, you know, a lot of us, as I often say on the training, like, I didn't know about my hormones probably. I've got a human biology degree and we barely touched on hormones. And I don't think the word
Same.
menopause was
I
mentioned.
mean, I've got my sports science degree. I don't recall a single lecture on hormones.
Do you know what I mean? So we introduce women to the hormones and into the proper terminology, because a lot of people don't know what your follicular phase is or your luteal phase is, or
I'm still
a lot of
learning.
people don't. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people don't know where estrogen is produced in your body. We all just think ovaries, but it's also, you know, in the fat tissue, in our hair follicles, in our adrenals. And so we talk about it. We introduce you to the hormones, so you get to know the hormones a little bit, and you get to know the symptoms of high and low sex and stress sex hormones. And we talk about when the hormones should be high throughout the month, when they should be low. We talk about how you can help your body by including certain food items in your food and nutrients in your diet. And we talk about what things could be hindering your perimenopause experience. We also talk about the definitions of perimenopause and menopause and postmenopause, because again, I think a lot of people, again, because we're not taught it, just call everything menopause when
Yeah,
there's actually
an
three
umbrella
distinct
term.
phases. Yeah, so I think bringing clarity and understanding and getting people to talk, giving people some hormone literacy is so important. Whether you're a yoga teacher or not, it's neither here nor there. The Menoyoga training is sort of it's almost like a weekend immersion in hormones and movement, and how you can help yourself through your own perimenopause. And if you want to, or postmenopause, and if you want to go and teach it onwards, fantastic. But it's not, you know, it's certainly not essential that you're a yogi to do the course.
Yeah, yeah. And the thing I like about your talks as well, it's very practical advice, and it's quite easy to implement some of it too. So obviously you talk about supplements, but and naturopathy, but just little tweaks to the diet. It's very affordable. I find a lot of stuff out there on social media. It's like, well, you need this and this, but oh, by the way, it's going to cost £100. You know, your collagen and all this, and it's like that actually cuts a lot of women out, because it's not in their price range. It's not,
Mm.
you know, it's not, it maybe a one-off, but not as an ongoing thing. It's not practical. And
Mm.
so that's what I like about your talk. You know, okay, maybe get some of this and that, and you know, up your pulse intake, you know. Add
Yeah.
some pulse into your food, and it's all this. And I've been doing that. I've taken a lot of your advice, and I'm feeling a lot better. I've got a lot less brain fog. I'm making sure I move every day, which sounds ridiculous for a yoga teacher, but move for myself, because I'm out teaching a lot. It's easy to forget about yourself, but that's also part of, I think, the female conditioning. You come last. So we touch on that a little bit, don't we, when it comes up, the mindset. And I think that's why a lot of people, when they start to reach deep into perimenopause, they just get really effed off. They're just like, I've had it, because they've just put themselves last so often. And because of
Mm.
the patriarchy, etc., we're so used to following a certain, this is in my opinion, we're so used to following a certain regime, well, actually it doesn't really benefit women's health. It's bollocks. It's just
Mm.
not helpful. So no wonder you've got a lot of middle-aged women just absolutely burnt out. And even
Mm.
before, you know, this is what is quite like, oh my gosh, light bulb moment for a lot of people. They don't realize how early perimenopause can start. Not even middle-aged, you know.
Mm.
I think I started around 40, which is, you know, getting on for middle age. But a lot of people are hitting this at mid-30s, aren't they? And they don't realize. They don't. They're trying to find answers, taking different medications and supplements, but actually it's perimenopause, and trying to treat all the different symptoms with different things, and creating a bit of a chemical shitstorm in the process, is what I've observed. And I definitely did that. Honestly, my top of my count is covered in different medications, and really costly too. You know, stuff I was getting not through the GP, because that was hopeless for me. That just didn't work. That just led to frustration, my personal experience, and various supplements and whatnot. And then the more I've learned about it, it's like, oh, actually, the simplification of what you ingest is actually very helpful, also for mind space, for head space too. So I'm eating now about, again, inspired by your talks, about 80% vegan now. And I'm feeling better muscle tone wise and strength. I've got less joint pain. I'm not saying this will work for everyone, but it certainly worked for me. And I say 80% because sometimes I just need those eggs on toast. Sometimes it's all I can think about. And I think I give it like 2 hours, and if the craving's still there, I go, screw it, I'm going to have some eggs on toast. But I'm quite anemic, so I wonder if that's like where the cravings come, especially if I've done like quite what I feel is a tough workout. I'm like, my body needs that. So, but again, we talk about that, don't you? Follow what your body needs, what you feel you need mentally and physically. And we're not, again, earlier in life, women aren't necessarily taught to do that. I feel like there's a big change, conscious change now with regards to women's health, and we're really lucky we're in the midst of it, and it's actually quite an exciting time, I think, for women's health, because the conversations are opening up with various trainings going on around the world, etc., and language is changing. Like, I much prefer, what did you say, ovarian hormones?
Sorry, ovarian hormones is the correct word for our sex hormones. Yeah,
I think that sounds so much nicer. So I'm becoming much more, with giving these trainings and listening to people, I'm becoming much more aware of my language, even though I've just swore a minute ago. But yeah, just a lot more aware of my language and how that can change one's relationship with the body as well. I'm trying to think of an example now, but I think that has a big impact. And if you were to say to some people, but again, because they're conditioning or maybe past history, sex hormones, that might switch someone off to that talk. But just by changing to ovarian hormones, I thought, oh, okay, women's health, that's a little different. It's not about having sex. Not that sex hormones is about having sex, but it's just that yeah, it's like, I feel like it's quite a sensitive training with regards to language and inclusivity, and that's certainly what I'm working towards anyway. And I know you consider that a lot too. So
I try to. Always room for improvement, though.
Yeah. So our training it's not long away. Hey, it's not this weekend. The one after, I think.
The one after, yeah. Bring it on.
At the moment, so I'm like, they're all kind of rolling into one. So yeah, so it's online, and we have a great group of women coming. We have just about 7-8 students right now, so it's going to be quite a small, intimate group. So if anyone's out there thinking about jumping on, we welcome men, women, anything in between. Very welcome to learn about the experience. There's always going to be someone you're close to that will help, benefit from the knowledge. So we welcome all. And the format of the training, I talk a lot about movement, of course, and bone density, and how we go into a little bit of the science of how weight-bearing exercise via yoga postures can be very helpful as well. And I do tend to touch on different modalities of movement too. I do all sorts of swimming. I've just started running again too, which is feeling really good. I wouldn't have been able to do that a year ago before I made those changes to my diet. I felt too heavy, not necessarily like literally, but just energetically heavy. Ooh, yeah. So we discuss helpful movement. And I've read quite a lot over the last year or so, various research papers on how joints are affected, collagen depletion, how that affects joints. So we do go into the science of things, as well as the holistic side, which your talk brings in. Your 2 talks bring in really nicely, and they're 2.5 hours each day, aren't they? So you get really stuck into it. Or is it 2 hours?
No, it's an hour and a half each day, plus 30 minutes Q&A. So a 2-hour slot just for learning all about your hormones and what you can do to help yourself. And we often sometimes sneak into our lunch break, don't we?
We do.
We sometimes go over that as well, because there's so many questions, and people, that it's wonderful to witness so many light bulb moments, isn't it? People are like, that is why I've been suffering, or oh my goodness, I was never told to take my progesterone at night time. And you're like, yeah, so that's where people
Yeah.
get a lot of learning, I think.
Yeah. And I think it's worth mentioning too that we're not knocking the medical profession. We're coming at it from quite a holistic approach, I guess, but we're not knocking the medical profession because HRT benefits an awful lot of women. I personally don't take it, but for various reasons, but it's a great benefit to a lot of women, isn't it? So we do, well, you discuss that. That's not my
Yeah.
place to discuss it really, because I'm not trained in I'm not trained in that department, but I know my lane and I stay in it. But you do discuss that too, and we're very open to conversations around medication, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a whole section in the training about HRT, what types of body identical, what types are not, the different modes of administration, so transdermal, transvaginal, oral. We touch on that again because we know that our audiences there'll be some people in our trainings that are postmenopausal, some people that are on HRT, some people that can't take HRT, and we want to be inclusive to as many people as possible. So of course we have to talk about HRT because it's part of the picture.
Yeah, it's part of the picture. Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. And we do touch also on medical menopause, of course. Would you mind explaining what that is?
Yeah, so there's medical or there's surgical menopause. So surgical menopause is when you've had, for whatever reason, you've had your ovaries removed, so that you go almost into overnight menopause. So all those ovarian hormones that your ovaries were producing, they just sort of go out a bit like a light, go down to very, very thin levels, very, very not thin levels, very, very low levels, because then
Yeah.
it's just your adrenals and your fat cells that are producing some of the sex hormones or conversion from one hormone to another. So yeah, if you go into surgical menopause, your ovarian hormones they basically tank overnight. You don't get the whole 7 to 10 years of perimenopause like someone going through organic menopause would have. And the same with medical menopause. Some people are taking, again, for whatever reason, they're taking medications that block the estrogen receptors, so like SERM drugs, that kind of thing. And then again, the body can't access estrogen in the body. So it's a little bit like going into overnight menopause. So we talk a little bit about that too. And everybody is welcome on our trainings. And the things that the sort of the holistic, the diet, the lifestyle, the herbal things that we suggest, some of it will be applicable to everybody, some of it will be applicable to some people. But I always say at the start of the talk, please don't go out and buy all these foods, or please don't go out and buy all these, supplement recommendations. You're going to have to listen to this and just take from it what you need. And know if there's 30 people in a training, then no 30 people will take exactly the same things, because everybody's diets are different. Everybody's already on, some people on supplements already, some people on HRT. So you sort of have to look for it through your own lens.
Yeah. Yeah, and supplements that I've played around with a few different ones now. Ones I'm finding really helpful are for joint pain, because I was getting, this time last year I was getting really dreadful knee pain, for example, it kept me awake at night. So I'm finding CBD oil really helpful, a good quality one that I get via you. I'm finding that really helpful. You put me onto omega, would it be omega 3 or 6?
Omega-3, yeah,
Yeah,
DHA and EPA,
so that's
yeah.
been very helpful for the digestive system. And then ashwagandha, just to help switch off my nervous system at night. And they're all quite pretty straightforward, simple supplements. And that's where, and then just going more heavy on the fruit and vegetables and getting decent quality ones too. And that's really as much as I want to spend, if I'm honest. And it's having a great benefit. So yeah, that's my experience of it. I've experimented with all different. I did one day, I don't know what I was thinking. I went and got a load of supplements from I got totally sucked in to Holland and Barrett, and I was just in there one day and I was feeling rotten. I was like, I might as well try this and that. And it came to like £50. It was like 3 for 2 or whatever. I don't think they made it, was like menopause supplement for digestion. I don't even know what was in it, but I just had a moment. I was like, I'm just going to try it, and it made absolutely no difference. So you do talk about the quality of different products as well, because it's really, when you're feeling rotten, it's really easy to get sucked into what's out there and hope that it works. But what I have found is just selecting, as I've just said, I use 3 different supplements, but I get really good quality ones, and that's my limit. I'm not willing to spend more, and then just try and keep on top of exercise and nutrition, and you know, that for me has really helped. It's not that I don't have days where I'm still feeling overwhelmed and a bit rotten, but yeah, that's helping. So yeah, we can talk. What I'm getting at is it doesn't have to be complicated with regards to improving your well-being. And we do, yeah, I like that when we talk, it's quite simplistic with regards to solutions, but those solutions are obviously going to be different for people. Like some people feel a lot better when they eat meat. I feel terrible when I eat meat, but some people do feel better. They feel like they've got more energy. So it's yeah, it's different for people, and we open up the conversation to all different approaches. And you and I are still learning from people that come on the training as well, aren't we? And various different situations, and how medical menopause might appear for some people, and how organic menopause might start really late for some people and really early. And it's just a fascinating training with fascinating women. And it's still in its infancy, really, the training. I mean, when did we do the first one? It feels like ages ago, but I don't think it was. It was the beginning of last
That was
year.
the one in Worthing, wasn't
Yeah,
it? In the Worthing in real life venue, and it was big training, wasn't it? I think there was about 30 people on there.
yeah,
How long was
yeah.
that? Was that last year or the year before?
Oh,
I can't remember.
it's all a blur since lockdown, my timings. But this is probably about the 8th one we've run, isn't it? And I feel like it's getting the energy is settling. When the training's new, it takes a little while to figure out what works and who you're going to attract to the training. But I feel like we've got a good groove with it now, and the right people are coming to the right training for them. So we do tend to get a really nice, like you say, nice community vibe on it, which continues. Like like you were saying, we did the training in Leeds in April, and that group is very chatty. And I've had a few invites to go and stay with various students when next time I'm up north and whatnot. So
And we're going up north again, aren't we? We're going again in January. We're going back for more. Yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah, we have I have this training running in person in October. So we've got spaces left on that one, and then we'll be back up in Leeds at Yoga Hero January, right at the end of the Christmas holidays, isn't it? Because I figured there'd be a lot of women out there just really fed up by that point with running the household over Christmas, because it usually falls on them, and they'll just want 2 days to come and vent. Not that it'll be a 2-day rant fest, but we will allow a bit of space for that, because it's real, right? It's real. We don't want to gaslight people into thinking, oh, it's all wonderful if you take this supplement. It's not. It's a bit crap sometimes. So we try and keep the space realistic, don't we?
absolutely. And I would also say that, you know, as a naturopath and herbalist, I strongly promote a food first approach. So supplements are more an insurance policy. They're more of a fill in the gaps. You know, you say to somebody, up your magnesium containing foods, and that could be, you know, raw cacao, dark chocolate, leafy greens, nuts and seeds, whatever. And if they're like, do you know what, I don't like any of those, and then I'm like, brilliant, well, I can sort you out with a really good, easily absorbed, you know, magnesium supplement. But we do promote a food first approach, and also about accessibility. Most of my clients in my clinical world are time poor, busy females with caring responsibilities upstream and downstream. And I would say that's probably largely the case for our Menoyoga teacher training as well. They're busy professional females. So accessibility is huge. Like, we're not going to be suggesting anybody make recipes that have got like 20 different ingredients in them. This is all about stuff that you can get from your Tesco Metro at the end. Some of the things some of the foods are for things you can get from Tesco Metro at the end of your road. So it's about accessibility and being able to do things on a fairly regular basis. So the recommendations are actually surprisingly simple.
Yeah, and that's the way they're going to be implemented, isn't it? Like you say, if we make suggest complicated things, that just becomes irritating.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, I can't do that. Right, I'll do nothing then. And then you're
You
back
get
to
despondent.
square one. And you mentioned about, you know, busy professional women, but we also have, which is definitely the case, but there's also a lot of women out there struggling that are homemakers and dealing with you know, if you're having more of an organic menopause or perimenopause, you're more towards sort of 40 plus. And a lot of these women now, lots of us women, we're having children later. Like I had my second one at 40. And then also you've got, which isn't that abnormal now, it's actually becoming really normal, but then also dealing with elderly parents. So you've got a massive challenge either side. And stress, as you know, massively affects menopause and perimenopause, really exacerbates the symptoms. So I do feel like whatever situation the woman's in, that, you know, obviously I'm biased because it's my training, but you know, this training can be helpful for that too, if you can find the 2 days to do it. I mean, that can be a challenge as well. But we have a Facebook group now, so people are welcome to join that, just if there's an interest. And you give regular talks on a subject as well, don't you, Rachel? And you've also got, if anyone's local to us, we both live in Worthing, West Sussex, you've got a Thursday in-person group now, haven't you? Do you want to speak a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. I'm really into, as me and Sal were saying, about building communities by women, for women, to support women. And I've been wanting to do something like this for years. So when my friend recently bought a gym in Worthing, she's like, I'd love for you to do a few bits and bobs here. So starting this Thursday in Worthing, which is Thursday the 8th of August, we're starting Worthing Menopause, which is like a support group for women where they can come along and ask questions. We're going to get guest speakers in. All the speakers are going to talk for free. We only ask for a £5 donation to cover the refreshments. Perfect. Maybe a box of chocs for the speakers. But again, it's about women supporting women, because these times we're living in are unprecedented, where women have got caring responsibilities upstream and downstream, but they're also expected to work full time. We've never had that before in our life. So it's unprecedented times for women, lots of stress, and stress hormones are inextricably linked with our ovarian hormones. And it's about how we can build our own toolkits, which obviously Sal and I will do in depth, because we're doing a proper, you know, you're spending 4 hours on learning about your hormone toolkit with us. But in the support group, it's sort of general recommendations, and it's how you can build your own personal toolkit to help see you through your perimenopause. And let's not forget, perimenopause is if you're going through it organically, it's a 7 to 10 year period of mind body recalibration to a low hormone state. So we need all the help we can get. Me and Sal are happy to throw you loads of help in our trainings. And if you're free on Thursday night for more of a general overseeing approach, then do come along. Drop me a DM if you'd like to come along on Thursday night.
Yeah, lovely. Thank you.
Pleasure.
We do try to be generous with our information and coming back to people, etc. Don't I think we both come from the same place with that. It's when people need help, we will come back and do what we can within our time restraints. And with regards to again, just circling back to the training, I do hope that it comes across that with generous information. So, for example, everyone receives the PowerPoints to refer back to afterwards, as well as the live recording. So people get that lifetime access to that, as long as you download it your end, that is. So there's that information there to keep as well. So it's not just the 2 days. You have all that info, and then our Facebook group and WhatsApp group. So it's quite an ongoing thing if people want that.
And your lovely menopause manual as well.
Oh yeah,
that's amazing. That's such a useful resource to pick up and have a leaf through. It's so good, Sal.
Yeah, great. Thank you. I had some help with that. Naomi wrote some of that too. So it was very much a joint effort. The team behind the scenes. Yeah. So and we have that. We have, my end. I've got a team, so you will always get responded to. No one gets ignored, and and that support is ongoing. So that's what I want for people, just to not come in, do 2 days, and then that's it. I want people to feel supported as an ongoing thing.
Definitely.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go teach Pilates now.
I'm going for a run.
Oh yay! Nice. Good for you. Self-empowerment, love it. So I think we'll leave it there. So thank you for your time, Rachel. If anyone's interested in training with us, feel free to pop us a DM, or if you're just interested in general in the subject and want a bit more info, again, pop us a DM. We can always add you into our private Facebook group where we share ideas and discuss things, etc. And hope to connect with everyone here soon. So I'll post this now on the grid, and feel free to DM me. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you, Rachel. Thanks for your time.
Bye, Sal. Thanks for having me.
Pleasure. Okay, bye.